Oh, it's a big day. I'm so plagued with all the anxieties as well, which is absolutely crazy. It's only the anxieties of desire for this to succeed, to be a success, to be that first step. Financially, there's nothing riding on it. It's not like I'm a koi breeder that relies on it, you know, from that perspective. It means nothing. So it's just the pure fucking love of doing it. Oh, can't wait. Cannot wait. Let's see. This is the first time in this whole journey where we're gonna really know. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence, but I've been on the fence every time, and let's face it, I'm struggling to believe elements of it all as well still, but reality's becoming more and more and more. Can't wait to see what size they are either, and I think it's clear there's probably a lot more fish in there than I've anticipated. Must have been from, let's say, the first netting that we did. We didn't do a second netting, so there's a good chance we did miss quite a bit by the looks of the amount of red and white fish in there. So let's wait and see. So here we are. It's where someone turned the temperature gauge up today as well. But they're all down this morning. The other day I did post it in our Telegram group. I came, snuck up, and there was shoals of fish all at the surface, buzzing around. The pond looked very full. In fact, they're all here buzzing around again. Look! Wow! See all the mud, plumes of mud coming up. With this heat, they're gonna be super active, and there's a lot of fish in here. So I'm gonna stop yabbering because I want to get this net in. I want to see him up close. Here we go, got my little helper again. Oh guys, honestly, I cannot wait for this. Coming in, guys.
I don't know.
Size looks good.
So many.
And that's so full we can feel the weight. Now we have what really looks like Showa. We've got a Kindai over there. Amazing stuff. Wow guys, can you believe that difference from last time? So Harriet just shat her pants at the big frog. Now KB's torturing her. But as Harriet does, she now curiously wants to touch it. Disgusting creatures. And back to the koi. Really great size. So many fish. So many fish. Right, so we've progressed now from touching to wanting to hold.
I'm touching a bit more because I'm touching the floor.
What a girl. That absolute madness to see now. I've not had too much chance to have a look. I'm just unzipping the tank now, but I have seen a couple of banging Tancho Showas. Let me flip it round. So there they are. Lurking in the muddy waters. So full the tank as well. Just unbelievable stuff that we're now, from where we started at this point, so quickly as well in all reality. I remember throughout this as well, these have still had no colour food to date. So it's really just natural colour at this point that we're looking at and assessing. Amazing. Guys are just wrapping up. And then we'll get back to the fish house. So everybody, they're all in. Size is looking good. Oh my god, I just saw an absolute weapon then. Size a little bit bigger than expected, which is good.
I like all the pink ones.
Now we just need to find some treasure. Honestly, right, this stuff's such an emotional roller coaster. So initially, at first glance, my head sort of dipped a little bit, not gonna lie. But you have to, there's two parts to this. The amount of really high level fish I don't think is particularly high. But when I say high level, I mean the serious stuff, the kind of thing these guys are chucking out, but after years, decades of refining the bloodlines that they use. But as a first go, there is nice fish. There's issues. There's a lot of very full redheads and menkaburi, or heavy redheads. Quite a bit of beni on the flanks as well, which is a shame. Big pluses for me right now. We've got size. They are doing very well for their age, which I like. Bodies do look very strong, which I like. Plus, deformity rate seems to be so incredibly low, which is cool. Given what everybody says about Showa, I'm really, really happy with that. So I think the thing is, it can be quite overwhelming. There's a lot of fish, and obviously we expect there to be really low. I'm expecting to only pull 100 fish out of here today. So if that's the case, there's 600 to 700 fish here, and then what you're looking at becomes a little bit overwhelming because it looks overwhelmingly average. And that's where, even with the experience I've got, my kind of mood took a little dip there and thought, oh, these are all shit. But you just have to take a moment, chill, and then you start pulling out the good ones. Admittedly, I'm pulling them out and then seeing they've got the beni underneath, which is frustrating, but still going to keep them at this moment. I've got the pond. We might as well see how they develop, see what changes as they go on. They're still incredibly young, and you know, bigger now than expected. So if we can keep the numbers low as they go back this next time, they're going to have 6 weeks of absolute luxury to really fly on. So it's important we get to learn the pros, cons, so then we can look to adjust next year. Obviously, I already know, and I've said male fish are the big change for me. That's not saying I'm saying it's the male fish the reason for whatever's going on in the spawning. Could well be the female, but you've got to change something to see if you can alter the result next year. And if after a change, it might be another year, another 2 years, you don't get where you want to get, then you might be looking to give up on that female. But that's the type of investment, you know, it could be 3 to 5 years before we truly get to know the extent of it. So yeah, let me just show you again where these are at. I'll show you the few that we've got in here so far, then I'm going to get my head down and get stuck into them. So just to show you again, look. Let's face it, when you glance at that lot, you really don't see anything spectacular. But when you start breaking through, Sumi's an interesting one at the moment, because if you think, you know, we've gone from all black, and the Sumi's actually, when I talk about that baby Sumi, a lot of it's receding away. So it's hard. You're still mainly, just seeing some of them that really caught my eye. Yeah, it's really sort of receding away. Some have sort of standout Sumi quality, which is interesting. But there's still a big focus on kind of pattern and beni quality, still even at this point, because we know the Sumi is just going to change too much. And then over here, catch another glance. So you already see, look, we're getting some refinement. You can start to see elements of the pattern. You can see how big them bone structures are. That, I think I said at the beginning, kind of set out, is really important for me. A big characteristic that I'm looking for. Very last fish in my tank is a little peach, actually. Really see the sort of pattern formation under there, look. It's very heavy with the Sumi at the minute, that's just going to fall back, but it's a solid piece, that one. Really nice, actually. Nice. Alright, let's show you what's going on. So this right now is everything I've set aside. I am going to just check once more because my mood has been swinging, kind of feeling towards it quite severely. So, I mean, this is pretty strict though. I've absolutely hammered them, that is for sure. So I've just set another net up here to check everything one more time. Honestly, the size is impressive. Roughly around 12 to 15 centimeters on average at the moment. Maybe more 12 to 14 in here. There is a few real standout bits though, which is exciting because it's all about those few. Like I say, if there ends up being 10 out of this lot, happy days. And then, what's coming next? So there's now 3 pools of fish. I have all of these. That's the Sankey from yesterday. And then this is also full of my Miss Toyota Offspring. I'm going over to the other house they have this afternoon to decide what I'm buying from there, and then we're going to be making plans to get this lot shipped home. That does mean at this point there's a whole batch of these coming back, and the idea I'm cooking in the back of my head is that they're going to be perfect to sell as very fairly priced batches for any of you guys who have a winter grow on, anything like that. That's going to be cool for you to be able to develop some through, as I will be doing back at my place as well. And then these here, awesome. For now, however, I need to get cracked on and get this finished. So I've just had a little sift through for you to show you my highlights really from the batch to date. Look at that Tancho Showa. Nice little surprise, that one. What we got there, probably around 20 pieces, 25. This is what we're talking about, guy. You know, come the end of it, this is literally the reality anyway, for the kind of level we're talking about that could go on to be grown through to Nisai. But there's still a lot, there's honestly so much even now between this selection and the next one. Not forgetting this is only the second proper selection after Kuroko. We have got this seemingly this size characteristic is coming through. They are surpassing normal kind of expectations. So don't know the exact numbers as of yet. It's really hard as well, isn't it? Looks, you're looking at Beni and it's very uninspiring when now it looks at this age, but we're assessing real quality. It's thickness of it more than anything. There's so much movement, more of that soon probably going to fall away in quite a lot of them by the next time. And then just to show you again, there's going to be more here going back than I expected, but even being as strict as I have, I've got to learn from these as well. See how the patterns on the head shift, especially if they'll remain Menkabori, or there's just small details where the movement, and as it grows it'll all stretch out. But I mean, we've probably kicked 500 to 600 fish out today, so, and given how they've been growing now, this next bit they're just going to absolutely rock it as well. One last look at the superstars. There's a few fish in there to get excited about for sure. Don't forget this, really. You think about the end mindset, it's probably half of this net you're hoping is really good. That's it. There'll be others, there's a few small fish amongst them, and I think a lot of change to come, so this net will change and evolve, and there'll be others come from there. But overall, now it's kind of all done. Seeing where I'm at, I'm actually very happy. In fact, fucking delighted. Back at the pond. Time to load up. and get them released. Back out there, it's El Scorcho today as well, 39 degrees.
39.
Yeah. Had your sweat on that, hadn't you? Struggled a bit today.
That
Anyway, she wanted to come back in the pond so she could go as deep as possible. I think she's trying to get it to spill over the top of her waders. I know what she's like. Anyway, we're at 200 fish altogether going back, so I think we've lost about 600, we wiped 600 out of the pond today, which is cool. Bearing in mind the Sankey you saw yesterday, when we released those last time, 260 of those went back. So 200, this is a bigger pond as well. I think it's going to be a shock, a real nice pleasant shock next time round, hopefully anyway. So yeah, and when these are released, I'll show you that bit. What we're going to do is I'm going to snap back and have a chat about my thoughts on all this, because this is a completely new mindset to adjust to. So wait, we need to see them, Mats. There we go. Away they go. Before I get into any end of day review, we've come over to Mukaichi Machi. This is where Fujo's original koi house is. I'm just going to show you. So there's all fresh tosai in here. I'm just netting up a pond full of DK Shiro I've agreed to buy now. These are actually tosai that remained in the greenhouse over summer for development purposes. So technically a small Nisai right now, but you'll remember videos on the channel when I've done this with Okawa ones, and I've just raised them through winter. So by spring, they're a perfectly normal size Nisai. So that's that one done. Then there's two ponds here I'm looking at as well. So I'll flip it round and show you what we're looking at. So these are all this season's tosai. They've already been harvested. Those NND Kohaku have always done us so well, but I'm going to be able to get my hands on more here, make them even more accessible this year. Then that pond's predominantly more Showa with some Kohaku and I think the odd Sankey. There's fish in those two tanks at the back I need to look at. And then these you will see. Oh, honto. Okay. They fucked the netting up. In here, I've stayed away from this, but they're pulling me in. This was Jumbo Tosai DKs that they were raising, or have been raising in here. And they're just a bit fruity. However, that's going to get complicated in there. I should imagine there's loads of different price levels and it's a much bigger deal to do it all. Some absolute rockets in there though. Anyway, we'll come back to that in a minute. Some whomping big Kohaku in there. He's been growing indoors as well. So yeah, game on already. Tosai season for me begins. You could say it began a few months ago when I started that spawning. Nothing like getting that fresh stuff in right now though. And this is going to cause utter confusion out there in the market as well, because you will get, by the time I've got these back, and no doubt even by the time we've got some come up for sale, you will have people still selling tosai that are technically turning Nisai. Now at that point it happens, unfortunately. This is where it gets confusing. What term you will see me using is new season tosai. So you know they are spawned this year. Technically they will be probably around 5-6 months old at the point of us selling, compared to something that technically should be termed as Nisai now being around 18 months old. All confusing, isn't it? Because even technically 18 months old, you'd be calling it a year old if it was child. But hey, we go with the Japanese way. So yeah, cool stuff. Love to get it started. This is what it's all about for me. Absolutely obsessed with it. Managing to get this stuff now first, clear it out as well, get it back and have as much fun as possible with it. So look at these for a batch of Shirotsuori. I think the whole purpose of keeping them indoors has been to get this sumi up really well. It's actually a really good time for me to be growing these now, because with the light being far less intense by the time I get these home, it's going to allow me to grow them and control the sumi a bit better, instead of just bleaching it out like would typically happen when I start pumping them up. And no doubt these will be a proper size Nisai, probably 35-40 cm by springtime as well. So deal's already done on that whole lot. Just a case now of counting so we can get everything prepped for shipping ASAP. Oh, look at this lot, guys. You don't often see bowls of Shirotsuori looking all that good. Need a little bit of age, the raising technique, my god. These are going to be good fun. Really good fun. And the next one.
What, are you buying all these first?
Yes, Harriet, I am. What's wrong with that?
Spending a lot.
God, you sound like mummy. Well, what fish can I sell if I'm not buying any new ones? I need them as well. I think that's me told. Right, it's ended up being quite late by the time I've got round to this one, but today I'm still living in the bubble really. By the end of it, I fully got my clock round it, but it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And I think I had a chat with Fujo about this. The big bit for me is this change that initially it's quite hard, even with the amount of experience that I've got. This is different way round, you know, you're looking at very young raw fish, the colour's not properly developed. It's a really early stage, despite the size even, because the size was the real standout thing from today. But for me, typically, I think every amazing fish I've generally produced in the UK has come from, out of that 200 that's gone back, it's come from that other. So let's say I had a count, there was roughly around 30 at the highest level today, at the level that I'm really hunting for in there with what I've got in my mind. The other 170 is the stuff I normally get my hands on by being quick at it, the deals that I do, and it's generally considered it's of a level enough that I can make some superb fish out of it. It's just normally a little bit further down the line. So to now actually have at one stage of that be disappointed looking at this 30, I think when you've seen so many fish as well, bearing in mind the best parts at 800, and you're staring at that 30 going, fucking hell, that's the reality. And I lost sight of a moment where the mindset that's been drumming into me, that is, you know, if you could get 10 pieces at the end of this, at the level, we're talking high Japan level here, the stuff that I can get, but I have to pay through the nose for it and then take all the risk. So to think, you know, that 30 right now, I would have no chance of getting my hands on unless I paid some crazy price, and they ain't gonna want to let that go, because it's that percentage of fish that makes it all tick, because they know amongst that 30 is potentially that 10 that they're looking for. I've now got that, they're mine. That's the part in all that today that was skipping over my head for a little while. It weren't until I got it all done at the end and really sat studying the fish and looking at the fish, it's like, holy shit, yeah, this is how it is. And then from there you can scale it up. You know, you can try and get the yields higher next year just by potentially there being more eggs and more offspring. That number could increase. Or obviously more spawnings that you do with more ponds, you know, you get your total numbers up for the production at your farm. So, you know, things will change. It's the first year. But I think, yeah, going from it overwhelmingly just looking like a sea of very average fish to being where we're at. And it's because there was a lot of average koi in there, but average by whose standards as well. This is the bit. Average by the fact that they're now looking, when you're looking at beni that you know is going to be red that's now yellow, that can be a hard one to process. I was not so much struggling with that. For me, there was a lot of full redheads, the menkaburi, and the beni on the belly. But again, as the day's gone on, I've thought about it, and I've bought young, cheaper fish from Issa before. They were a lot smaller than these, admittedly, and that was the main issue in there. I bought a lot, and as I sifted through them, the big problem was finding the ones that didn't have full redheads and beni on the belly when it was a nice fish. You can clearly see why it had been rejected. So I was taking that as it's you know, a big problem, but in reality, all that was playing out here is the reality of koi breeding and striving for those high level fish. And again, please don't mistake, when I say those high levels, we are talking top Japan koi breeder level is what's being searched for and aimed for here. So yeah, all good. Fully got me clock round it in the end, and now I'm just so excited to see them, because the change by this next phase is going to be absolutely nuts, and I really can't wait to see that. Plus, given the fact we've cut about 600 fish from the pond today, and seeing how they've grown on 2 occasions now, when Fujo's sort of going, yeah, really good big pond this one, and I'm thinking, no, I'm putting that down to the genetics. I think that bit is really, really shining through. And in amongst it all, even, I'm also just super excited now for next year as well, going out this autumn hunting for a new, maybe 1 or 2 potential male fish, and really starting to steer this thing fully in the direction and vision that I want to create from it. So it's phenomenal, it really is. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. Please bear in mind, as I'm doing this as well, the filming might not have been the best, because I'm really trying to just be in the moment as well and savour as much of it myself as I can. Not wanting to sound greedy there, but that is the truth, as well as wanting to share what I can with you guys as well. So there we go. I'm not sure what tomorrow's going to bring. Obviously, Harriet's been having the time of her life, but she is very, very demanding, and I want to show her, you know, what this place can bring, and what a bit of a life here could look like as well. So there we are. We'll see where it goes, and I've also got a little bit of time to spend on part of the future here as well, but I'm saying no more than that for now. Other than that, I'm going to get off to bed now, and let's see what tomorrow brings.